Here at artbeads.com/live, but you're also maybe watching me on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you are joining me from. Welcome. It's really fun to be here. So it is Wednesday, and every Wednesday I come here live and we usually make a project together. Sometimes we do like a little bit of a show and tell or a trunk show or a favorite things post, but today we're going to be making something which is fun. So what we're going to be making, and I specifically didn't wear earrings today because I want to show you the earrings that we're going to be making. So we're going to be using some beautiful prestige crystal flatbacks, and we're going to be gluing them on to filigree. So here's one of them that we're going to be making, and you can see how that's going to look against the ear. We're actually going to make 4 different pairs of earrings today using these beautiful crystal flatbacks and putting them with filigree. And what's fun is there's so many different ways of doing this, and the possibilities really are endless. And so I'm going to show you a couple different techniques, a couple different ways, but then all throughout this week and even into next week, the designers are going to be showing you how to use these beautiful crystals. So Becky Dahl is going to be here tomorrow showing you how to use a hot fix applicator tool with them. And then Deb Floros is going to be here on Monday showing you how to use a crystal katana with them. So a lot of fun shows, and if this is something new to you that you haven't seen how to do before, this is a great opportunity to learn all about these beautiful crystal beads. So I'm going to put my glasses on because I can't see anything without glasses. So hi, Kat and Luis and PJ. It's so good to see you guys. I love seeing familiar faces here. It makes what I do really fun, and this is such a fun community. And Santa Barbara girl is here, and Michelle is here with the Art Beads team helping us out today. So lots of good familiar faces. So I want to take care of a few housekeeping things real quick, just for people who are joining us who haven't been here before, a couple little details about how this works and make the experience even funner and easier. So if you look at your screen and you are on artbeads.com/live, you see a couple little icons. There's a heart. If you click that, I see little floating hearts. There's a little arrow to share, and then there's a shopping bag. So the shopping bag is great because you get to see everything in the entire show before I even talk about it, which is fun. Oh, and Eric's here too. Hi, Eric. Oh, and thank you, Santa Barbara girl. We made this in a different show. So all the shows are archived. That's another thing to remember, is if you missed something, join late, say that you missed a show that you wanted to see, you can go back and rewatch all the shows. They don't go away. We also have them on our YouTube channel as well, and there's a whole special section just for lives. Oh, and I see Julie is here too. Hi. So yeah, so we've got it archived. You could go back and rewatch, you can share, you can heart, and you can look at that shopping bag to see everything in the whole show and add them right to your shopping cart and your shopping bag right from there. Oh, and Kat made this necklace. Good, you love it. I know, I wear this necklace all the time. It's so simple, but it's just really pretty and elegant. I love it. Hi, Tina. It's fun to see familiar faces. Okay, we are going to be making sparkly jewelry today, though. Let me show you another couple things that we're going to be making. So here's another one of the earrings that we're going to do today. So you see how that sparkle just catches the light. I love that. So that's what it would look like against the ear. And I'm going to show you the other 2 because we're making a total of 4 today. So here's another one. Now this one's really simple, but you know what? Sometimes, like this necklace, the more simple pieces are the ones that you tend to wear a lot. There you go. So there's how you see that one looks. And then I made one that was a little bit more elaborate too. And this one I used a really cool like filigree connector piece I've been wanting to use for a long time. So I used it finally. It's been on my desk for a while. I was like, I need to be able to use this so you can see how that looks too. So lots of sparkle, lots of fun. So I love these projects that we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to flip my camera down really quick here so you guys can see what supplies we're going to be using. Okay, here we go. Oh, here we go. There we go. Sorry. Let me position this properly so we can see everything. So what's nice, let me see, is this on? Nope, that is not. There we go. What's nice is I can just scoot this around. Okay, so now a quick reminder, if you are on YouTube or you're over on Facebook and you want to be able to comment and for me to be able to see your comments live, go ahead and click on that link in the description of the video you're watching. I'll take you right over to artbeads.com/live so I can see your comments and we can design together and I can answer questions too. Oh, hi, Patricia. Good morning to you as well. Okay, here we go. Let's first look at kind of what the stars of the show are. So these are what these flatbacks look like. And I thought it'd be easier to keep some in the baggies so you could see them a little bit better. Hi, Bridget. Okay, so they come in a bunch of colors. These are by Prestige Crystal. And you can see I'm going to be using two different sizes. I'm using a larger size, which is an SS16. So you see how it's flat on one side and super sparkly on the other. Now, the SS16 corresponds to be about 4 millimeters. So if you're curious a little bit more about the millimeter size, because I know I don't really think in terms of like SS size or PP size. I'm used to working with beads, so I'm used to millimeters. So these are about 4 millimeters across. And then we're also going to be working with a slightly smaller. So the smaller one is the SS12, and that's about 3 millimeters, 3.2 millimeters, if that helps you a little bit with sizing. So when it comes to the SS sizes on these flatbacks, the smaller the number, the smaller the size. So you have the SS12 is going to be smaller than the SS16. And those are the two sizes I'm working with. Those are my two favorite sizes for jewelry making. All right, and I kind of want to just get in and start making. Now, I'm going to be using something called a magical pick. Now, I did realize that this actually just sold out. I'm sorry, but I put another one up there in the cart, which is a little bit bigger size. And then you can also be notified when this one gets back in stock. I also added the crystal katana tool up to the shopping bag as well. And that's another great crystal applicator tool. And you can learn a lot more about that by watching Deb Floros' show on Monday. And then Becky tomorrow, like I said, is going to be using a hot fix applicator tool. So a lot of different options here. But I'm going to be using this little pick, which is a very handy little tool. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start with this earring here because I want to get right into the designing. I like this one. This is very elegant. This would go great for the evening. Oh, and Michelle is amazing. She just put up a size chart for these flatbacks, which is so helpful. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, so on this one, I went with a dramatic earring hook. I went with this pretty filigree. And this is really like a connector link. Look, it's more like a chandelier link right here. Oh, thank you, Beverly. Good afternoon to you too. And then I went with a really nice large jet black bicone. And so those are the main components. So what I like to do is I like to start by adding my crystals first. So this is what this looks like without the crystals attached. And I always have a little piece of paper. Now I'm going to be using E6000 glue. E6000 is great. It has a really strong hold, but it does dry really quickly when you first put it on like a piece of paper or a baggie. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use a baggie instead of a piece of paper because it does not absorb into the baggie, which means it tends to last a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little baggie. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take my E6000. I'm just going to put a little bit at a time onto my bag. So I would not put a huge glob expecting to do all your pieces all at once. I think it's going to dry too quickly on it. Okay, now you're going to want a scrap piece of wire. And you know what? I did not pre-prep a scrap piece of wire, so I'm going to have to use a head pin, which is sad. I didn't want to use a head pin, but I forgot my piece of wire. You can also use a toothpick. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your glue and you're going to put it right where you want a crystal. Okay. And then when you've got it, you're going to take your little pick or your crystal katana or whatever you're using. You're going to pick up your crystal and try to pick up your crystal. My goodness. And you're going to place it. So then you're going to tap it down. So there's another side to this. You can also use a toothpick. You're going to tap it down and position it. And you still have a little time for wiggle room. Now, I also do like using toothpicks for positioning, and I actually forgot to ask my husband to get some at the store because I was going to show them. And he said, honey, what do you want at the store? And I was like, oh, I'm fine. I don't need anything. But I did. I needed toothpicks. So sorry I don't have them to show because toothpicks are great. I use them for everything. Okay, and then I'm going to go. And already my glue is feeling pretty tacky, but not in a good way. So I am actually going to get another little glob of glue out here. Again, go slowly with the glue. And always put your lid back on after you use E6000, just because it will kind of seep out. Okay, so the way I wanted to do this one is I'm going to put one on this hole, and then one right in the middle here, but not on that hole because I'm going to attach my bicone to that hole. Okay, and so I'm using then the jet as well. I'm going to keep moving my bead mat. I feel like I'm not in the right position today for my camera. So if anyone has any trouble seeing, just let me know. I will try to adjust things. That's the beauty of doing these live. I know we've worked with that before where if something's not quite right with the camera angle or I'm holding my hand up too high or too low, just let me know, guys. I will definitely try to adjust. Okay, there we go. So we put all those crystals on there. I see a little bit of glue hanging out right here. I can actually kind of take this tip, and again, if you have a toothpick, you can kind of press it in. And you're going to want to let this dry. Now, in an ideal world, we would let this dry for 24 hours because it's E6000, and that's what the official cure time is. For the show, I'm going to fudge it because I want to be able to finish these earrings where we can see it all done in time. But what I am going to do is I'm going to toggle it. So I'm going to put this earring down right now. I'm going to go on to the next one while this dries just a little bit before I finish off this earring design. And yes, Tina, this is so easy. Gluing crystals onto filigree is so easy, but it really packs a pretty dramatic punch. I like it because it's like a way of really upgrading a design, I guess you could call it, or elevating a design. It looks super fancy, but it's very easy to do. Okay, so I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm actually going to set it aside on something that's plastic to be able to dry, just in case any of that glue seeps through. Okay, the next one I'm going to work on is this little guy. I love this little guy. This will be one that I wear all the time. So this is Rose Peach. As we've talked about in other shows, peach is the color of the year for Pantone. So this is Rose Peach, and it's a Rose Peach crystal and a Rose Peach bead. So if you want, because these are prestige crystals, you can coordinate your flatbacks with the rest of your beads in your design, which is really nice. So what we're going to do to start, and I've got my vintage relief block. So if you notice, if you kind of can tell, this one's a little shinier. The actual brass is a little shinier than this one. It's kind of hard to tell. But the way I made it shinier is my vintage relief block, and I just go over it, basically sand it, and it pops out the shiny brass beneath. And you can just kind of keep doing this, and you can see how that's brightening up. And that's what I really wanted. I wanted it to just be a little bit brighter and have the filigree itself be just a little bit sparklier. There we go. Didn't take much, but now it's got a little bit more of that detail popping out. Yeah, I like the peach. I love the peach with the antique brass too. I think that's a super pretty color combination. So on this one, it's nice because you can go really simple. I'm just going to use one crystal. So I'm going to go ahead and take my glue. So you don't have to go crazy with the crystals. Sometimes you can just use them as just a really nice little accent. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right in the middle. So you just want to make sure when you're doing this that you have enough surface to put glue on in your filigree, because filigree, of course, has a lot of open work to it. Let me pull this more in the center of the screen so you can see. So I'm just going to pick this up and place it down. And so there you've got that sparkle. I know, I wasn't into peach either, Santa Barbara girl. I really wasn't, but now I am. I'm loving it too. I like it with white too. Like peach and white is really pretty too. Okay, so there we go. Got that nice sparkle on there. So I'm gonna let that piece dry now. Maybe, you know what, maybe guys, maybe we're gonna do all our sparkle, let our sparkle start to dry, and then go back one by one in the order we did it. I think that's a good idea. That way we have some hope of these drying before we start working with them. So I'm going to move them over so I can make a lineup. Okay, next up is this guy. So this is Crystal Golden Shadow. So Crystal Golden Shadow is really a nice staple color by Prestige Crystal. It's a nice, pretty kind of honey gold, very subtle too, and it blends in nicely as well. So I've got another one of these little beautiful filigree pieces. So here it is. So with this one, I want to do almost like a butterfly effect. I'm going to do one in the middle and then one on each little tip here, but not one here or here. I'm going to leave these parts empty, but you could, of course, add to them if you wanted to. And that's the thing with these crystals. You can go as elaborate or as simple as you like. Okay. E6000. Now, I will say I've also tried GS Hypo Cement with the crystals and putting it on filigree. And the thing I don't like about it is it can get a little runny and it can go through to the other side of the filigree. So I do tend to stick with E6000 for that reason. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here in the center. And going to do it right on the edge here, but the inside edge. And one more over here. Okay, and then I'm going to add my crystals before my glue dries. Okay, so now we have 3 of them on there. You see the side-by-side comparison, the side with the sparkle versus the side without the sparkle. Ooh, that'd be a very pretty linked bracelet. I agree. That would be nice. Okay, let's do the last 2. Again, I'm going to put out more glue. Okay. So these crystals are one of those jewelry making supplies that I tend to not remember that we have. And then once I start playing with them, I'm like, why don't I play with these more? It's just one of those things that I think I don't usually think to pull out, but they're so pretty and so sparkly. And no, the PJ, the E6000 doesn't cloud the crystal sparkle. And I know exactly what you're talking about. So anyone who has ever tried to use super glue with crystals will probably have had the experience of doing it, going away, coming back, and seeing their beautiful crystals no longer with sparkle, almost like they have like a, I almost want to say like a corroded surface on them. Like it's really weird. But E6000 does not do that to them. Great question though. Okay, there you go. All right. So let me show you real quick, PJ. Like I did this sample up yesterday and the crystals are still super sparkly, and that's with the E6000. Also, a good thing to kind of talk about is like if you're using these flatback crystals in resin, something really interesting happens. They become flat almost. It's like an optical illusion, or the red resin somehow clouds it. It creates a really interesting look, but they don't look sparkly like this anymore. They don't look like they've got dimension anymore if you set them down into resin and the resin covers them. So that's kind of an interesting effect you can create. I actually like it, but it's interesting. So it's funny how these crystals can really change based upon the material they come in contact with. So here we go. All right, so I'm going to put that next in line, and then, so Santa Barbara Girl, I have used the E6000 jewelry and it clouded. Oh, I'd use straight E6000. Okay, great tip. Yeah, so for those who don't know, there are different types of E6000 out there, and some are made specifically that they say jewelry on it, and some have different, I don't remember all the different ones, but yeah, so good point. So using the straight, this is just regular E6000. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's good to talk about all this and share these tips, because we want to have a good jewelry making experience for sure. And we're putting a lot of care and love into these, so we want to make sure that they end up looking good. Okay, and my last piece here is this one. So I'm going to do all the sparkles for it first. So at the bottom, I have a little nun design charm, and I thought this was really cute. So I just put a little Tanzanite crystal in it, and I think it works really well. So I would even do this for a different project, or just as like on a charm bracelet, add a little crystal to that charm. And then on this filigree piece, what I noticed that I liked is it's double-sided. So you know how some filigrees only look good on one side? This looks great on both sides. So there's that filigree, and there's that one. So what I want to do, because it's double-sided, I want to make sure that I have it so that when you wear it, it's almost like you have a left and a right, because we often can't do that, but this one we can. So you see how that little paisley swirl is going this way on this one and this way on this one? Oh yes, very Bridgerton, totally. Okay, so that's what I want to do. So when I do the bejeweling of this one, I want to make sure that I have the filigree facing the right direction. So it's going to be this way here. And I am using these really pretty Tanzanite crystals. So I'm going to sparkle it up now. Okay, so on this one, I'm trying to look at my sample. I think I put one right here. So I don't want to cover the hole, because I'm going to use the hole to attach my earring hook. And I'm just kind of swirling my needle to get, sometimes E6000 has like almost like a little tail that comes from it when you put it on. Where's my loose glue? All right, well, I've got to put down a new glue pile, because I don't remember which is my one that's working right now. Okay. So I have that little crystal on there now, and then I want to do a total of 2 more. I want to put one right here and right here. So above the loops again, because I want to use the loops to put the jewelry, the little dangles on. All right, and now I got to remember which is my fresh glue pile. So I'm going to turn my little baggie around. Make a fresh little glue pile. Now, if you are watching this live right now, we are also having a sale on crystals on the Art Beads website. So this is a great time to try something new or stock up if you love crystals. It's a great time because a lot are on sale right now, if you're watching this live. Okay, let me put my last 2 little crystals on. Oops, I think I got a hair over here. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to pick it back up and I'm going to push them down into place so we can see that a little bit better. I'm going to adjust my lighting too, guys. I feel like it's not quite perfect today. Let's see if that helped at all. Okay, so now I'm going to position them. Into place. Okay, so now we're going to let that one dry so you can see how that added the nice sparkle to it. Okay, so now let's go back and actually turn these pieces into finished designs, which is fun. Okay, we're going to start with this one, which is the first one we did. So now we need to add the little bicone dangle and we need to add the earring hook to it. So we're going to grab our normal tools. We've got a cutter, we have our chain nose, and we have our wire looping pliers. So let's go ahead and do the earring hook first. Love this earring hook. So pretty. And it's got that little loop at the base. Oh, Santa Barbara girl, you're talking about the Tanzanite and the peach? That would be really pretty. I'm gonna hold them together in just a minute so you guys can see. Okay, so we're gonna slip this on. And close up our little loop. Okay, and then we have that nice loop waiting for us at the bottom too. So for that one, we're just gonna make a really simple little dangle using this nice big bicone. It's a huge bicone. I'm used to working with 4mm bicones. This guy is giant by comparison. We're just gonna do a simple little loop. Like so. Trim it. And then let's go ahead and open it up. And put it on. And close it. Okay, we have our earring. So this one is really an elegant, like evening type affair. Again, very Bridgerton. I feel like a lot of these are all very Bridgerton. There we go. So that is our earring right here with those pretty black, those jet black, sparkly flatbacks. And we got the big crystal one that looks like a diamond up top, and then the nice bicone down here that's hanging. So very fancy. I like them. I definitely want to wear these. So that is our matched pair of earrings right there. Oh, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Santa Barbara girl. These are fun to do. These are really fun. Okay, we're going to, before we move on to our next one, let's look and see what the Tanzanite and the peach would look like together. Let's put them on white. The rose peach. So we can see. This is part of the fun. This is when we get to play. Okay. So if you could see that color combo right there, the Tanzanite and the rose peach, that would be really pretty paired together for sure. Okay. All right, let's make our next one, which is the rose peach one. So we already did our focal right here, just that one. You could absolutely bedeck it all the way around. You could totally go for it, or you could keep it really simple like this. Okay, so for this one, we are going to make a little wrapped wire loop using this really pretty olive bead, and that's in rose peach as well. So to do that, we're going to make ourselves the start of a wrapped wire loop, right like here. And we're going to open it up, slip it on. I love the filigrees. I have the little holes or little loops in them because they make life so easy when you're making jewelry. And then we're just going to do a few wraps. Okay, and trim our tails. Oh, beaded around the edge would be very pretty for sure. Yeah, I had pulled out some wire too. I was actually thinking of beading some as well, doing like a wrapped wire around the filigree piece. But then I was like, oh, I kind of want to be able to do more earrings in the show versus like one elaborate one, which would have taken a lot longer. But there we go. That's our little guy right there with the dangle. And then for the earring hook, I liked this simple little hook right here. But now you've got me thinking, I wonder what it would look like to use just like a fire line or a wildfire and bead around the edge too. That could be really pretty. Okay, so I got to remember how to do this. So if we put this on like this, so I'm thinking I'm going to go from the back to the front, and let's see if this hangs right. Yep, okay. So by going from the back to the front, and just open this up a little bit, you can just kind of tug it, let it slip in, and then push it back into place. There we go. There's our simple little earring, but he's not simple. He's ornate and delicate and dainty, but he's got a lot going on, or she has a lot going on, I should say. There we go. So the flatbacks that I'm using are SS12 and SS16. So SS12 is about 3 millimeters, 3.2 millimeters. So it's this size here. And then SS16 is 4 millimeters. So this is the bigger one. So great question. And then I believe Michelle put in a flatback chart link, so maybe she could add that link again, because that was super helpful, because then everyone could see all the different sizes, because I don't think any of us think in terms of SS or PP sizes. We think in millimeters. Yay, I'm glad you guys like it. Okay, well, we got 2 more to go. So on this one here, this is the filigree piece, so I'll show you what the back looks like. Okay, so there's the filigree piece, and we're going to add the earring hook up top, and we're going to do a little dangle. So again, I want to match the crystal color with beads. So I have some crystal golden shadow bicones, and I'm going to put on a pearl right here. Okay, so one quick note about the pearl. I have no idea how this happened. I swear this is a 6mm pearl. I cannot find a 6mm pearl in this color. This is brown velvet or velvet brown. I forget which way they say it. So I don't know where I got this pearl, but I put a 5mm in the shopping bag and an 8mm, so that you can have one just a little bit smaller or just a little bit bigger if you like this design. And I apologize, I looked everywhere. I am not sure where this pearl came from. But I made the project, I photographed the project, I love the project, so I want to definitely use this color because I think it's so pretty. But it's just a little quick disclaimer there, but you can do a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger pearl. Okay, so for this one, we're just going to do a simple wire loop, which makes life really easy. And for those of you just joining us, of course, you can catch this on replay. You can go back and rewatch the beginning to see how the crystals were put on, for sure. And then Becky Doll has a show tomorrow using more of these really fun flatbacks. And so does Deb Floros next week on Monday. So it's kind of a crystal sparkly week. And then if you want to catch us all and say hi in person, we are all going to be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania coming up for Bead Fest. And we're teaching a workshop there. So it's going to be fun. We're all teaching a workshop. And it's one workshop that all the designers are part of. And so that will be on the 31st of, wait, I should know this. Am I flying in the 31st or is it on the 31st? Okay, Eric or Michelle can definitely help clarify the exact date of the workshop. It's the end of July. And there's a special discount code, artbeads.com25, which will take $25 off the workshop price. So if you're near there, stop by. And even if you don't take the workshop, stop by and say hello. It'd be fun to see everyone in person. Okay, earring hook. What earring hook did I use? Here's my earring hook. Okay, I've got my earring hook. And we're just going to slip this on like so. Easy peasy. Super easy to do that. And close it on up. And there you go. So we made another earring. And I think we've only been doing this for, what, 20 minutes? I know the show's been going on for 33, but I know I talked for a little bit. So maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and we're making lots and lots of earrings here. So I think you could safely say that you can make all 4 pairs of these earrings in probably about an hour. Okay. Oh, hey, I forgot to put the crystal on here. So I'm going to add a crystal to my little daisy charm, my little flower charm. And now I've got lots of scrap pieces of wire that I can use as applicators. Okay, Art Beads team, thank you. The workshop is on Wednesday the 31st. Thank you, Eric. Okay. And my little charm is right here. There we go. And now I just want to add crystals to all my charms because this was so cute and fun and easy to do for this little charm. So I just added a little bit of glue right to the center of it. And there we go. We just put on that little crystal right there. So now you can see the crystal. Okay, I'm going to move my glue aside. All right, so now this one is a little bit more elaborate. So what we'll do is we're going to start by adding the 2 little dangles on the sides, and then we'll do the center dangle. So for the dangles on the side, we're going to grab a antique copper head pin, and we're going to put on it a bicone, and this is Crystal Shimmer, and followed by a 5mm pearl. Oh yeah, you could do a beautiful choker. You're right, Santa Barbara girl. That would be beautiful. Yeah, I love the Bridgerton thought of these, because this is now, that's all I see now is when I look at these. These are so period looking. They look so fun. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a simple wire loop. Trim my excess. Let's make another one while we're here. I've got to find the right beads. Okay, and we're just going to pull that down so you see just sitting right there. And you can see that little bit of shimmer. And I actually really like Crystal Shimmer more so than even Crystal AB, because it's a little bit more subtle. So Crystal Shimmer is kind of between a crystal and a Crystal AB. So it has a hint, like a flash of like a little rainbow effect, but it's very subtle. So I enjoy Crystal Shimmer a lot. Okay, we're just going to make our little loop. Trim it. Okay, and we've got those. And while we're here, let's see, I'm going to try to use a scrap piece of wire instead of using another head pin. So let's go ahead, and we just need to make a little pearl connector. So I'm just going to go on the end here and make myself a simple wire loop. I'm going to just close my computer off to the side. I can hear little ding dings. Okay, so maybe that'll be a little quieter. Okay, so we made a little loop. So we basically made ourselves an eye pin. And now I'm going to put on a 6mm pearl. And this is the Crystal Moonlight Pearl. This is a newer pearl color, and I like it. It's not pure white. It has almost just a slight, not, I don't want to say gray, but it's got like just a little hint of something extra to it. So it's not quite pure white. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to make another little loop. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the wire looping pliers. I love them so much. I don't think I could make as many loops in jewelry making that I do, or as comfortably without the wire looping pliers. They just, oh, they're my favorite. You guys know they're my favorite, but they're my favorite. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect this whole thing together. So we've got our piece, which is all sparkly, and we're going to add to it our dangles and our charm. So we're just going to go in and we're going to open up the little loop and slip it onto one end. And you would definitely let your sparkles dry longer than I have in this case. I don't think you need to wait the full 24 hours. I'd wait the 24 hours to wear them, but I would give them at least an hour to dry before you start working with them, just so that they don't accidentally, kind of get pushed off or repositioned as you're working, putting your dangles and stuff on them. Okay, so we got now that middle one, and then we're going to do the end one. Okay, and now we're going to do the charm. So there's what we got so far. So we're just doing like building blocks. We're just adding to it. And now I'm going to add this one right here. So we don't need any jump rings because the whole construction is simple wire loops. I'm going to see where my opening is. There it is. Oh, you're right. Okay, good suggestion, Santa Barbara girl. We should have our own versions of the Bridgerton jewelry. That would be really fun. I love like design challenges. I don't know about anyone else, but I love doing design challenges, or being given some beads or some filigree or a theme to work off of and designing around it. I think it's so fun. Okay, there's this nice big dramatic earring, and we're going to put on a nice little earring hook. And just open up that loop, slide it on, and we're done. And that is how you make a bunch of sparkly jewelry using flatback crystals. So all the flatbacks that I chose are in that shopping bag. I added a few other colors as well, but there's even more colors available. So if you go and you look at the website over at artbeads.com, there's so many colors and sizes of these that the possibilities really are endless. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera around, and then I want to show you guys these again hanging up against me. That's why I didn't wear earrings today, so you can see them again. But this was fun. Okay, let me do the camera. Okay, all right, so let me show you. I know I'm going to want to wear these, but here is what the kind of these long, elegant ones look like. You see that crystal one really sparkles, the bigger crystal one. So that's what those guys look like. Oh, a wedding party. Oh, that would be fun. Oh, wedding jewelry, bridesmaid jewelry. This would be really great for bridesmaid jewelry. Customize it to the colors of the wedding. Could totally do that. Okay, here we go with these guys. So nice and dangly. All right, and a good reminder from Michelle, anything you've added to your cart, don't forget to close it out. It's always, if there's something you want, get it while you see it for sure. Okay, and then this little guy, which I'm calling my wear with everything guy because his length is really nice and it's just kind of simple. So definitely jeans, sweater, whatever it may be. And then the last but not least are these guys with this really pretty like petal flower. And I don't know why I keep thinking butterfly. I know he's not a butterfly, but I like this one a lot. So that one, nice little length, kind of my picture's in my background. I'm trying to make it so you can see the earrings and not my picture. Okay, there we go. Oh, birthstone, totally birthstone jewelry, wedding jewelry, customizable jewelry if you want to personalize it for someone's birthday or whatever may be coming up. I know we just did graduation, but you could always next year do graduation colors. A lot of different things you can do with these beautiful little sparklies. So if you enjoyed this show, definitely check out Becky and Deb's. And of course, check out Sarah's show on Friday as well. Sarah Lovecraft will be here on Friday. So we have a whole week of designers and we just have so much fun playing. So thank you guys. Definitely check out the replays. If you missed anything, check out this replay, all the other replays. Close out your cart if you have anything in your shopping cart. And then if you're going to be in Lancaster, check us out. We're going to go and have fun together over at Bead Fest at the end of July. And we're going to teach that workshop. And there's that code, artbeads.com 25, which will take $25 off the workshop. So thank you, everyone. I love doing these. I love doing these tutorials. If you ever have ideas for future show ideas, themes, projects, techniques, definitely share them. I would love to hear. I am planning out my shows throughout the summer and fall. So I've been playing with different ideas like resin maybe or something like that. I don't know. Whatever you guys want, definitely as we're talking and having fun during the course of the show, share your ideas. I would love to hear them. And then we have some other fun surprises coming up this summer, different things we're launching, which are really exciting and fun. So stay tuned for all of that as well. We've been getting into mischief. We've been having fun. So I hope you are too. All right, I rambled enough. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And I will see you here next Wednesday. And take care. Okay, bye guys.